guys, welcome to my very first video here with Mugs and Makeup. I'm super excited to give this a shot since this is like probably the 5th or 6th time I've tried to record a new video. Today I'm going to be doing it's sort of half a tutorial, half a get to know me. I'll be kind of showing you guys how I do a purple cut crease style look. It's a pretty wearable look. A lot of my preferred makeup looks are very colorful, very bright. I like matching my makeup with my outfit. And while I don't have anything in this particular blue-green shade, I do have a lot of purple, and purple goes with that really well. So, I figured I'd do some purple for you today, and it'll even match my fingernails. So we're going to do that and sort of a get to know me, because, some of you guys know me because you know me in real life, but some of you, if I'm lucky, I'll get some new people who don't know me. So, for starters, I'm Chelsea. I've been writing blog posts over the past week, kind of getting a chance to get going into this. I wrote a couple recently, one on some drugstore makeup that is like my ride or die, like awesome drugstore makeup. I'm actually going to be using some of it in today's look. Alright, I need me some coffee. So that's kind of where this all came from, Mugs and Makeup. I am a huge coffee and tea person, both. I don't discriminate, I love them both. But usually, depending on how early it is, I have my coffee when I do my makeup. But sometimes I do it really late in the afternoon and I'll have a cup of tea. Currently, today I have coffee. But I always have a hot beverage. It does not matter whether it is 9 degrees outside or 90 degrees outside. There is a hot beverage involved. So, that's a little about me. We'll keep chatting as we go along, but just wanted to give you an idea of what to look forward to today. So, I'm going to get my headband, and we can get started. Alright, so for primer today, I'm going to be using the Cover FX Blurring Primer. So, this is the primer. This came in May's BoxyCharm. It's awesome. I used to be a die-hard Benefit Professional primer person, and I still am. But this actually is better. Except for one thing. The price tag. It's so much more expensive. You get so much less. But you know what? It came in my BoxyCharm, and I'm going to enjoy it while I have it. The reason I like these products is that they tend towards silicone-y feeling rather than creamy. Like, a lot of people like really creamy, lotion-y primers. I don't. This is the texture. Looks a little strange, and when you put it on, it's very silicone-y and smooth. It doesn't feel like I'm putting on a second moisturizer, which I don't particularly enjoy, which I should enjoy since I've got such dry skin, but I don't, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Alright, let's see. Then, once I've done my primer, before I put on foundation, that's the important part, I do my redness color correction. I tend to use the Essence Color Correcting Liquid Concealer in the shade 30 Pastel Green. It's actually a really nice product. Like, I paid like $3 for it, and it does exactly what it needs to do. Nothing fancy. Let me get a mirror. And I just put a little bit on all the places where I get really red, which obviously this little guy here, but also I tend to get red like above my eyebrows, especially if I just tweeze them, and on and around my nose, thanks to my allergies. So just kind of spread this across where you get redness. And you don't need a whole lot, just enough to provide a little bit of tint. I actually got a little too much up here at the top. And then I just take my beauty blender, or it's not really a beauty blender, my beauty sponge. It's a Real Techniques brand beauty sponge. And then just kind of pat it in. Don't worry about blending it all the way. As a matter of fact, it's better if it doesn't disappear into your skin because it won't provide as much of a redness deterrent if it does. So you want to leave a little bit. See, you can kind of see how my face has this weird green tint to it. It seems a little strange, but it works really well once you put your foundation on, which is what I'm doing next, which currently I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in the shade Soft Ivory. I'm surprised at how well I like this. This is a really good one. It is liquidy, and it's got this really interesting spatula to apply everything. And this was only like $4. I was really shocked at how quality this is. It stays on really well, and it works wonderfully. And I just kind of spread it all over. This is also very good if you like varying coverage. Like, this is very buildable. There we go. Yep, this is very buildable. I even put some, like a little dot right over where my eyes are, so I can get a little bit of, get started with concealing the dark circles and just the darkness around my eyes. And a lot of people think that seems really strange, but get the mirror back while I chat. Chat and pat. A lot of people, like, that seems like it's really strange to do that, but honestly, if you use a little tiny bit of extra foundation around your eyes, if you've got dark circles, it could really make the job of your concealer a lot easier. Need a bigger mirror pretty soon. But I just like to pat it in. Pat it and blend it. I don't use a whole lot. I go for probably about medium coverage. I'm going to have to play around with this and see how full coverage I can get it, because it might be a fun experiment. But I go with about medium, even for my my full glam, which is kind of what we're going for today. But with me, every day is full glam. What am I talking about? Every day is full glam. It's just fun, you know? It's like art. I can do this art on my face and then take it off tonight, and I can do something else in the morning, and it'll be completely different. Alright, I think that's all blended. Alright, don't really need any more of that. For concealer, what I'm using right now is the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer in the shade Alabaster. Not a particular favorite, but it works. I don't like the formula as much. It's a little too thick. It works better than the other concealer I have, but it's not really very... it's very thick and it doesn't spread very well. I'd like a concealer that's a little bit more liquid. But I just spread it under my eyes, like so. And since this little spot guy down here doesn't seem to want to behave, a little bit there. And then I also put some on my eyelids to use as an eyeshadow primer. A true eyeshadow primer does tend to do a better job, but this actually works surprisingly well. There we go. Blot that guy into place. See, looking a little bit better. And then I just pat all of that into place. Definitely pat well enough that you're blending, but don't pat too hard. You don't, like, the skin around your eyes is very delicate, and you don't want to end up causing yourself more troubles with things like dark circles or anything of that nature, really. It's not an enjoyable experience. Right? Double check under there. Everything's looking good thus far. Leave that down there. I'm gonna set with, I think I'm gonna set with my Airspun today. I have two powders that I just kind of alternate between. I've got a NYX powder, and then I've got this, which is glorious. It is the Coty Airspun, and I have it in the shade Naturally Neutral. There's so much in this package. It's like $6. Like, I'm all for a great deal, you guys. All for a great deal. So I like finding good, inexpensive makeup. Now, I will spend money on makeup. No two ways about it. Like, I will. But if I don't have to, why would I? You know? Unless you're getting quality out of it, there's no point in paying extra for extra fancy products. That's my feeling on the whole matter. Also, this thing comes with a poof, and I love it. It really just reminds me of one of those old movies. Like, I don't know, like the Aristocats, you know, with the little old lady that had the cats, and she was just like patting her face. Yeah, I know, I'm a little crazy. But yeah, I just kind of tap some into the lid. Be a little light with it. You can always add more to the lid, but you can't take it. It's hard to put it back in once you've got it in the lid. And I use a generic brush that I got from Groupon. Nothing fancy with this one. I mean, it works. I got a ton of brushes in it. And most of them work really well. Some of them were duds. But you know what? I paid like $12 for a bunch of makeup brushes. There were bound to be a couple of duds in there. And some of them I thought were duds, and it turned out that I just needed to figure out a different way to use them than I expected to. So, moral of the story, just because the brushes are cheap doesn't mean they're bad. This stuff smells good. Like, it smells like baby powder. Like, not just like, oh, this smells like it's just actual baby powder. But no, it smells like baby powder the way that the Cabbage Patch Babies smelled like baby powder. Like a subtle touch. It's just such a nice, clean, soft smell. It's glorious. All right. So my face is set. Put that brush away. Put my Airspun away. And on to contour. I think today I'm going to use, for starters, the Pure Cosmetics Sculptor Palette. This also came in the May BoxyCharm, and it's glorious. It comes with 4 shades, 2 kind of contoury shades and 2 highlighty shades. I can use all of them except this one. It's called Founder. It's a little too dark for me. I've tried, but I'm really pale, and there's just no way I can make it work. Highlighters are a lot more forgiving as far as skin tone. As long as you're going for a certain undertone, you're fine. They're a lot more forgiving, but this is not forgiving. Honestly, I thought this was going to be too dark for me, but I will prove otherwise with my Aesthetica P12, which I also got in the BoxyCharm last month. This is a glorious brush. It is soft, and it places like bronzing style contour perfectly. It adds just enough. So you can kind of see it, but you can see the difference more than anything. Yeah, like I don't use a whole lot of this because it's so dark. I just apply some and kind of blend it a little bit, kind of smoke it out. That'll do for the moment. And then what I like to do is I like to take an actual bronzer, which in this case is the Benefit Hoola, and I like to dust just a tiny bit just over different places on my face to make me look a little bit more sun-kissed. Yeah, this bronzer is a little dark for me, and it's a little orange, but this brush picks up the product and disperses it so nicely that I don't even really have to worry. too much because I could just dust it. I tend to dust it right here along the sides of my forehead. Just some places that are in shadow and across the top of my forehead. Which, this side, yep, this side needs a little bit more blending out. The whole thing does, really. And then I just blend it out so that I just you can see just a little touch of color on my forehead. And then I take and blend a tiny bit of it in with my contour. So I don't like contouring with this as much anymore because it's so orange and it doesn't really entirely achieve what I want it to achieve. This mirror is so small. So small, guys. But then see, you got just the tiniest bit, and I just also brush some down here on my neck. And then I think I'm done with this brush for right now. I have what is this? The Luxie 207 medium angled shading brush. That's what it looks like. And I just take a tiny little bit. And pull it along the sides of my nose for some nose contour. Some people don't like nose contouring. I do. I enjoy it. Ooh, lordy, one side is so much darker than the other. It is so visible. We're just going to have to darken this one up because that one's not blending out very well. So, darken that. So I just kind of blend it out on both sides, and since it wants to act up today, pull a little bit of product off. So it's not much, it just kind of traces the shape of my nose. It'd be a lot less if it hadn't decided it wanted to act up today. Alright, I'm going to do blush before I do highlighter. I kind of alternate, I don't know, depending on the day. Blush for today is Party with 3 A's. It is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. This was one of the birthday gifts from, I want to say Sephora. This is one of the Sephora birthday gifts. And it's very loved. It's a great blush. I love the Tarte blushes. Like, y'all, Tarte just dropped a new special, like, limited edition line, and they've got this new blush. It's called Fairy Dust, and I want it. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. But my bank account says no. I'm gonna brush a little bit of that. I kind of grin because when I smile naturally, I get these. So I kind of start there and then pull it back. Kind of blends in with my contouring, bronzing a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, Tarte makes glorious blushes. I'm gonna go with this one today. It's the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in shade Blossom Glow. It's glorious. And to actually do the highlight, I'm going to be using the Luxie 660 Precision Foundation Brush. I washed all my brushes yesterday because they were starting to get to that point where they needed it. Okay, I'm going to try this. Mirror. Did I pick anything up? Be a little bit more aggressive with picking up the product here. I love this blush. It's glorious. See, I just got some on my thumb. It's just this brush sometimes has a difficult time picking up this particular one. The rest of my non-Wet n Wild highlighters has a pretty good, easy time with it. It doesn't particularly love the Wet n Wild highlighters, though. So I gotta get a little aggressive with it. Alright, let's get this mirror back. Oh, that's better. That's a lot better. There we go. Just need to get a little bit more aggressive with it. Tip of my nose. So I tend to highlight across my cheeks, like right here on my cheekbones. And then tip of my nose. Other side. And then I take, ooh, lordy, I think I just made a weird noise with the mic. And I take a little bit, dust it across my Cupid's bow, that's going to be it for highlight for right now. I'm going to leave this out. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it later, but I don't think so. All right, time for brows. Oh my gosh, guys, my coffee is so delicious today. The coffee I'm drinking is, I have a Keurig, and I don't have one of those fancy little Keurig cups anymore. I don't know where mine went. What are the fancy ones that you can put regular coffee grounds in? Don't have one of those. What I do have is the Gloria Jean brand butter toffee flavored K-Cups. Guys, oh my gosh, it's so good. And I take and put some creamer and a little bit of sugar in it. It's just glorious, and that's my delicious coffee for the day. And look at this mug. Look at it. Oh, it's so pretty. This was a wedding gift. I have a set of 4. There's this pink one, there's a yellow one, a blue one, and a purple one. I actually need to go dig those out and swap out because I've been using the pink one a lot recently. So, let me find my spoolie. There we go. Alright, so I am using a spoolie from Aesthetica. Funny story about the spoolie. I haven't had a spoolie for most of the time that I've been doing my makeup. Finally, I went out on a fun splurge. Like, I just went and spent silly amounts of money on makeup, got all sorts of fun things, lots of skincare, the highlighters, tons of highlighters. Oh my gosh, I got 4 new highlighters when I went on my shopping spree. But I also got myself this little guy from e.l.f. It's a double-ended eyebrow brush and a spoolie. Finally got it. So excited. Finally got a spoolie. Like a week later, actually it probably wasn't even a week later, this came in my BoxyCharm. So I'm just gonna kind of brush out my brows. Let me grab this mirror again. Actually, I'm gonna swap out. I'm not gonna use that NARS palette for my mirror anymore. It's too small. Ah, this is perfect. So I just kind of brush out the brows. It helps get some, for me at least, it helps get some of the spare product out, because no matter how careful I am, I inevitably end up with foundation in my eyebrows. And with my last foundation, that was a problem, because it was this weird mousse gel creamy thing. It wasn't quite a gel, it was more like a mousse. It was very thick, very dry, and if it got in my brows, I was done. My brows were useless. So this liquid one is a lot more forgiving. It just puts a little deposit of color in there that I can just pull out with this nice little spoolie here. Alright, brows are brushed. Put the spoolie away. And the brow pencil I'm using right now is actually the NYX Precision Brow Pencil. In this shade, what is it? Espresso. That's what the shade is. This is the second to darkest. I still think it's a little light for me, but it's got enough of a red tone to it that if you can see my hair, I kind of have some red in my hair because I like dyeing it red. So it sticks. This is kind of what it looks like. It's kind of weird. It's been interesting getting to the point where I'm using it more regularly, but I just kind of feather small strokes in the front, in the really sparse areas of my brow. And then I just kind of add color in the rest of it. It'll add color, it'll add thickness, get it all the way to the end. I used to think that, for me at least, filling in my brows was a useless exercise. I have such dark brows, like you can see, but you can also see that there is a very distinct difference between the two. That was what I had to figure out the hard way. So it's been interesting learning all of these interesting things, like makeup goes bad. Yeah, these are looking a little rough. Inevitably, my eyebrows are looking a little rough, no matter how careful I am with them. So what I do is, there's another spoolie, of course. on the other end of this. I save this spoolie specifically for this because I end up with color deposit in it, and I don't want color deposit in all of my spoolies or in the spoolie that I used at the very beginning. So I just use this afterwards. Most of the time I don't think it really matters, but you know what? I have enough spoolies that I can make that happen, so why not? So I just kind of blend this out a little bit. And then kind of blending it a little bit, it kind of softens the color enough that you can see it, but it's not overwhelming. So then what I like to do to make it look even more clean cut and nice, is I like to take my concealer, I put some on the back of my hand, just a little bit more than I have been. I guess it's been necessary. Right. So I got a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I take, I'm just actually going to use this new one. I haven't tried using this one for this yet, so that'll be fun. I just kind of pick up a little bit of this concealer on the end of my brush, and then I run it around the brows carefully. Don't get it in your brows. I've done that. It doesn't work. It doesn't look good. So what it kind of does is it just cleans up the shape. Make sure it gets blended out. Like, you don't want just a flat. You don't want it just to look like a line. See, like there it looks just like a line, but then once you get in there and kind of blend it a little bit, it looks less like a line and more like you, well, exactly like it is. Like you clean your brows up. I do it right here in the middle too. See? Big difference. Go into the middle over here first. Since I've only got a little bit left on this on my hand. I gotta get some more concealer, guys. More concealer. Alright. There, and it just cleans them up ever so slightly and makes them look just... Alright, so, I'm using eyeshadows from this today. This is the Avon Makeup Design Palette. This will work. So I'm going to use this. This is an Avon brush. This came with the kit. And I'm going to use this really dark purple shade. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Why are you starting with a dark color? Starting with a dark color because dark colors work really well. For me anyway, in the crease. So what I do is I'm just going to dot a little bit right in the crease on both sides. And then I have this nice blending, fuzzy blending brush. This came with the Groupon kit. I'm just going to blend in circular motions. Not much, but you know, it's a start. I'm going to keep this out and use the mirror. My next one that I'm going to add to that to kind of blend into it is from the Elizabeth Mott Pop Goes the Shadow eyeshadow collection. It's a little sample. This one's called Gunmetal. It's this really pretty purple gray. And I'm just going to get a little touch of that. Just a little bit. And then put it right there. Not very much, not very far in. Just a little bit on the outer, like in the outer crease. And then kind of blend that into the dark. And blend it further into the crease. Go. So, there's a little bit there. There's not much. It's a very... There's a shadowed look there, and it's definitely purple. And then I'm going to get the light purple shade that I love so much out of this. See what I can get out of that. And then I'm going to apply that to the lid. This is a really, really light shade, but it does cover other shades really well, so I don't actually usually need concealer for this to like get a lot of pigment. Like, you can get very decent pigment out of this without needing to use concealer on it first. See? It's a very light, subtle purple look. And do the other side. I'm going to transform this into a half-cut crease kind of thing. I really like the way this looks, but I want to add a little bit more oomph to the look. So, I'm going to put this up and remove some more stuff out of here. And I'm going to get my Too Faced chocolate bar. Love this palette. This is my favorite. And then I'm going to grab my, what is this? My Ipsy T35 Precise Blending brush and get a little bit of Candied Violet, which is this one here. And then I'm just gonna kind of dot that in the other third. There we go. Got a little bit more oomph in this now. And then I'm just going to blend it out. So it's somewhere between a third and half oil. So that's what we've got. I'm going to that up a little. Alright, so that's what we've got for that. I'm going to hold onto this palette for smudging purposes. Now for eyeliner. The eyeliner that I have is my Holy Grail eyeliner. I love it. It stays on forever, and you know, it's very dark. It's easy to work with. I have never had sharper wings. It's glorious. It's the Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum in Ultra Black. You can get this at Walmart for like $12 or less. And honestly, it's a beautiful dupe for the Smashbox Limitless Liquid Liner, I believe. Yes, the Smashbox Limitless Liquid Liner, which is like almost double, which is I think over double the cost of this guy, and this works just as well, if not better. So, highly recommend this. Kudos to my best friend in the entire world for telling me about this, because it has saved my butt. Because I was trying to use gel eyeliner, and I'm awful at gel. I've practiced, I've tried, I'm working on it, but I'm not very good at it. So, let's get, let me get another mirror, and do my eyeliner. So what I tend to do is I start with the wing. I'm gonna just draw it straight in, like such. And then I just take, starting around in the middle, and then meet the end of the wing. And then from there, I can kind of tidy it up, thicken it, fill in the empty space, and then just kind of line whatever's left right along my lashes. Ooh, it's shaky. It's looking a little rough, but see, there's not much to it, but it's really, it makes a big difference. I'm going to do it the same thing over here. So there's eyeliner for the most part. I also like to take this. I have another one that I use on my waterline, which is the, ooh, that's not the right one. Let me not use blue NYX pencil all over my waterline, thanks. I used the Kajal Vasanti waterline eyeliner in Intense Black. This was a sample. It works beautifully. You know, it's just, it's easy. It stays on for a pretty good long time. Ooh, looking at my actual eyeliner. And I think today I'm going to half do the bottom. Just to add a little bit of extra definition to my eyes today. See, just that tiny, tiny, tiny little bit makes such a big difference. That's the thing about makeup. Like, you can use a ton, and it's fun, and it's enjoyable, and it's great. But you know what? Sometimes the littlest amount makes such a difference. Alright, that's done. And now I'm going to do mascara. I think for today, I'm going to use the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. This is a nice one, actually. I usually wait until later to do that, but I forgot today. So, right, that's done. So now I'm gonna take Candied Violet again from the chocolate bar, and I'm gonna take this guy here, and then I'm just gonna smudge this right under my eyes. Not a lot. You don't want like a huge line, but you're just kind of smoking it out and bringing it all together a little bit more. See? Now I'm going to get my Ipsy brush again, the blending brush. I'm going to take a little bit of Champagne Truffle. It's like really light pale pink shade, and I'm going to run it over my brow bone like such. It's just a really subtle highlight. And I'm going to do the same thing in the inner corners of my eyes. I think that's mostly done. So let me get my setting spray and pick a lipstick. For setting spray, the setting spray I'm using right now is the Milani Make It Dewy Setting Spray. Hydrate, Illuminate, and Set. 16-hour wear. This one's pretty nice. I'm kind of trying it out. Not usually a dewy look kind of person, but I do have dry skin, so it doesn't taste good. Should not have opened my mouth. But it, it definitely makes a big glowy difference. Not a huge, like, overarching glow. I want, like, precise control over my glow. But this looks nice, holds my makeup well, and it works, so, then one last thing for lipstick. Usually with this look, I use my Tarteist Liquid Matte, I think is what it's the Tarteist Lip Paint. And I use the bright purple shade, I think it's called Yas, with A's. But today, I'm not feeling purple lipstick, so I'm going to use the Maybelline, it's a part of the Maybelline Into Matte Nudes. This one's called Almond Rose. It's shade 565. And it's such a pretty color. It's a beautiful, just if you want a nude lipstick, this is what you want. And I love mattes, so this is perfect for me. It stays on pretty well, actually, and it wears very gracefully, which the Tarte lipstick stays on fairly well, but does not wear gracefully at all. Like, honestly, when it wears down, it looks really rough. Well, that's today's look. I'm gonna probably go take care of this mess of hair and move on with my day, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. Either way, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.